at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Atlanta Falcons. Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. So this game of art, Charles, you know, the talk of the NFL world all week. 2 unbeaten teams. You rarely see such a matchup this deep into a season.
I would agree with that, because normally you might get one team undefeated for a while, but 2 teams like this, and I remember in preseason you looked at schedules and said, I think these 2 are on a collision course. It'd be interesting to see if they actually get there, and they did. And to me, the winner of this game has to wear the crown of Super Bowl favorite.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. Back deep, Isaiah McKenzie. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. So a nice run right there. And worth mentioning, their usual starting running back out this week. The hope is it's just a short-term absence. But this is where it pays, Charles, to have a quality reserve that you can turn to when you need it.
And to me, they definitely have that, because this is a guy who's more than capable of picking up the slack. And he's likely going to see a big share of carries as this one progresses. And how many times do we see running backs jump into the breach and have big games? A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Back to throw here. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have them set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try. Still a long ways away from that happening, but that has to be what they're thinking right now.
2nd down and goal. Mayfield. Accelerating, and off he goes. He's at the 50. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were very strong in the win last week over the Giants.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number? 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. Boy, Charles, that time he took a bad situation and made it worse.
Yeah, you're almost putting together a nice little song there, aren't you? Because it's something you'll see from young quarterbacks. They have that tendency to retreat backwards instead of stepping up in the pocket.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. They'll set up a throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. This is to Pitts on the quick slant. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Mayfield looks to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. And let's listen in on the call. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Going for the deep ball. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
They'll run on first down. Pollard. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Run for Pollard. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
Sliding out of the pocket. He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8. It'll be a handoff to Pollard, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
And they'll rally and stop him short of the first down at about the 6. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And this ball game, clearly the game of the year so far. It's not very often that you find 2 unbeaten teams playing each other this late in the season, but that's what we have here. 2 heavyweight. There he goes, left side. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Browns can grab the lead if they hit the extra point. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And they take the lead here at 7-6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Returning it, Isaiah McKenzie. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And this game, Charles, much talked about coming in. And you think there's a real chance this is a Super Bowl preview?
I do, because as things stand, and I'll give you a little bit of a caveat here, that maybe things will shake out a little bit if someone loses along the way. But here we are right now. These are your 2 current #1 seeds, and I think they're both good enough to make it to the big game.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Second and 10. They'll look to throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question, because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. Second and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
Well, they're watching the film, and it's working. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible. So I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked off by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
They go play action. Mayfield. His throw incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Yeah, this defense rallies, and they stop him short of the 1st down right near the 24. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
McLaughlin now for the Browns field goal.
From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They run the counter. Pollard. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
The Falcons on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12. back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Browns drive about to get started. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL.
Let's go, D.
Alert, 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 alert.
Mayfield on play action. He'll fight his man, LaVisca Chenault. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And it's caught over the middle. Hooper. Oh, and now some space to operate. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Kill, 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 kill.
Regular, regular, regular. Kings, kings, kings.
Mayfield off the play fake. And that'll be incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide, because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Check 52. Check, 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 check.
Throwing, Mayfield. He'll buy some time right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here, because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock, because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Mayfield. There he goes inside the 30 and down to the 16-yard line.
Boy, a lot of moving parts on this play, but what a nice design to leak the running back out to the left and send him down the field. And a good job spotting him and hitting him for a big play.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
But that call makes sense, because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 2nd down, Felton again. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Browns would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
Isaiah McKenzie now on the return.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line
as they take over with just 17 seconds left before the break.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Final adjustments being made in the locker room. We're just about set for the second half from Cleveland. And to bring it your way, we go back up to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3.
It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. On the return, it's McKenzie.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
And they're down on the scoreboard, sort of a sloppy first half. And Coach Davis, if you were in the locker room, what would the message have been?
I think I'd have to go with something you don't ordinarily go with in the NFL. That's a little fire and brimstone. You've got to fire these guys up, make them understand what's going on out there. They were so sloppy in the first half, too many turnovers. Tighten things up, maybe get in their face a little bit, get in their grill, and then send them back out.
Now a 2nd down and 6.
He'll look to throw. He's going to have the hook up to Gage. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Working with 2nd and 5 now.
They'll look to throw here. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Picked off by Grant Delpit.
And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
McKenzie returning it. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Looking to throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Shoot! Watch the shoot! Off, off!
To throw, Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. To return is McKenzie. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
2nd and 5. Swinging this out for Pollard.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right. And as they breathe a sigh of relief, you know they're looking at the scoreboard, thinking to themselves, if we turn it over there, things could really get rough for us trying to make a comeback in this game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Jacob Phillips
just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17.
He'll drop to throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Falcons.
We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
Mayfield firing quickly. It's complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. It got his man complete. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A big play that time for Cleveland.
Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
Mayfield on 1st down. Buying time to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, alert 33.
Mayfield down. And it's caught. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Right here. Alert 3. Alert 3. Check nickel. Rush in.
hands it off out of the gun.
And he takes this one in for a Browns score. A great effort there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Browns add on to their lead. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, it's McKenzie. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity. I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On first down, Pollard. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The 40. The 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Tony Pollard. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now they'll run it on the toss. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
I got you. He's crashing. He's checking crash. Check 3. Check 3. Check your hot read. Check.
One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Run.
They'll run on first down. Felton. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. On second down, Felton again. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Mayfield.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield.
That's going to be caught. It's Chenault.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Now Mayfield. Flush to his right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
25, check 25, check 25. Kings.
For the tailback. He'll get this.
Going to get your name in the headlines. You do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
45.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down.
Throw left side, going to be caught by Chenault.
2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. Oh, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. A big connection on that one. 31 yards. Hey, you're at the point in the game right now where you got to start taking some chances, and that chance paid off.
And it's a good idea to be that aggressive because, truthfully, the defensive guys, they're just playing not to make a mistake. That often means you can make a big play against them.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
2nd and 11. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And this Browns defense stands tall. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Big stop on the turnover on downs to get the football back, and now it's just all about salting this one away.
Yeah, just slowly bleed the clock away. Clock's definitely on your side. And, you know, when we talk about analytics in the game, what is this one? Advanced win metrics? Because if you take care of the football here, bleed the clock down, what are they, about 95% chance of winning it?
I'd say 95 or better. And I know you always say it, every coach does. It's just protecting the football at this point.
And knowing that the defensive guys, they're coming after the ball more than they are the person. They want to knock it free.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Room past the 20. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 68 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Great time there to come up with his longest run of the night. We just saw it.
Leads to a lot of satisfaction because if they're able to hang on and win this game, you know what else will happen in the locker room after this?
What's that?
Head coach will step up and go, great job, guys. Because of that, come in a little bit later tomorrow.
Watch the twist, watch the twist.
Check 50, check 50.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Now a handoff as they run left side. And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Slam, slam, slam.
They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. 20, 10, touchdown, Browns. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Browns add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And that 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw again. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he takes this way down, deep into Cleveland territory. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
They'll look to throw again. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. On play action, they'll throw. This is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Kyle Pitts, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team.
And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
In your face. 45's the mark. I got you, boy. I got you, boy.
Alert! Alert! Alert!
So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. He's going to air one out. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Schwartz, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns look like they're going to be moving to 6-0 as they extend that lead even further. McLaughlin for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
After what they faced during this game, where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They're going to look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Cleveland, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll have another home date next week as the Cincinnati Bengals come to town. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they taste defeat for the first time this season as they drop to 5-1. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens.